What's up guys, Philip here, and I am back in the garage today to talk to you guys about how I would build out a home gym from scratch with a budget of $3,500. So let's talk about it a little bit. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from in this video, I am going to build this gym out kind of how I would like to train in it and kind of what I would use for me. I typically use kind of a power building program, and I focus on my big, heavy compounds at a high intensity as my main meat of my lifts. And so that is kind of how I will build this out. With a $3,000 budget, you can definitely get some nice stuff, but you are gonna have to make some decisions. So for me, that is gonna look like maybe cutting out some of the machines, some of the just etc. type stuff, and focusing on really building a quality basic setup. I'm not the kind of person who likes to kind of take half measures with their equipment. I like to buy nice stuff from the get-go that I can focus on having for a long time. And so that is how I'm going to build this out. So let's start just kind of talking about it. So the first part of this build that I'm going to focus on is the power rack. My power rack is the centerpiece of my gym, and therefore I think it is the first piece that I should kind of focus on with quality being concerned. So I kind of waffled back and forth on this one, but I think that if I was to build with this budget, where I would land is probably on a Titan X3. I think that with its 3x3 uprights and tubing with the cross members, as well as the 5/8 inch hardware, I think that it is going to be a very big, heavy duty rack. It is going to be sturdy, it's going to hold up to heavy lifts, but it's also affordable. So it comes standard with a skinny pull-up bar and a fat pull-up bar as the kind of top cross member pieces. And it also comes with a pair of J hooks. I am going to sub out those J hooks, or I guess say get an extra pair of J hooks, because it does come with a pair of just standard ones. I'm going to go ahead and throw a pair of roller J hooks on there because they're awesome. You can kind of screw them in and lock them in so that when you move your bar, they don't like slide out, they don't unhook. And as well, they have rollers on them so you can kind of center your bar and put it into position a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead with those, as well as a pair of strap safeties for a 36-inch depth and a 4-pack of optional weight plate holders. For the rack itself, I went ahead and went with a 36-inch depth and a 90-inch height. It has a couple depth and a couple height options. So that's what I went with, and it comes in a couple of colorways. So I picked black, and altogether this came out to about $885. And so they have free shipping, but if I am going to throw a 10% tax on, because I'm in Tennessee, so we have a type of sales tax, throwing on an extra 10% on top of that $885, it would come out to about $975 roundabouts. Secondly, I am going to focus on my bench and my bar. So for my bench, I decided to go with just a single adjustable bench, but a nice one. So I'm going to go with what I know and what I'm familiar with, which is the Rep AB5200. I have this bench personally, and it is a monster. It's 125 pounds. It has a set of wheels and a handle so you can move it around easily, and it has about 1,000-pound weight capacity. It has a number of back pad adjustment levels to raise the incline to varying degrees, and it also has a few seat adjustment levels to raise the angle of the seat. The reason I picked this bench is mainly the fact that when you do a flat movement, a lot of people talk about the gap in a bench, and the Rep AB5200 has a back pad that is so long that you can bench on it alone. So I think it makes a perfect single bench if you can only have one, so that you can get an adjustable bench where you can do your incline work, you can do chest supported barbell rows if you want to, that kind of stuff, but it also has a back pad that is so long that you can bench and do your flat work off of it alone without worrying about the gap. So that, if you don't get it in a clear coat, comes in at about $499.99. So if you do throw on a tax for that, it's about $550 with a flat 10% tax for the bench, all in with free shipping. Next, I'm going to move to my bar, and I would only be able to get one bar in this instance. And so I would pick a power bar, and more specifically, I would pick the Rogue Ohio Power Bar. Again, going with what I know and what I'm familiar with, I personally have this bar, and I went ahead and picked it in a Cerakote just like I have it because I love the Cerakote. So this bar is going to allow you to do all your heavy compound lifts. It's going to have a very comfortable knurl. It's aggressive enough to kind of stick in your hands, but it's not going to shred your palms. It's a nice volcano style knurling, and that Cerakote on the bar is going to give it an extra kind of chalky type feeling that I personally love. It's a 45-pound bar, 29mm shaft, and Olympic sleeves. So honestly, if I can only have one bar, I'm definitely going with the Ohio Power Bar, and I'm picking it in black Cerakote. And that is going to be about $355 base with tax and shipping. It's going to come out to about $416.11. So those are my bench and bar picks. So now that we have our power rack, our bench, and our bar, we have the skeleton of this build, but we still have to flesh it out with some weight. And so I went with the Rep Fitness Old School Iron Plate. This is their cast iron plate with a lipped face on a single side. And so I went with 4 pairs of 45s, a pair of 25s, 2 pairs of 10s, a pair of 5s, and a pair of 2.5s, which will let you hit all weight increments and gives you over 500 pounds of weight to use. And that is going to come in at about $896. If you add tax to that, a flat 10%, it's about $975, and the shipping is baked into that price. So now we have all of our gym equipment and we need flooring to put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the de facto favorite, which is the Tractor Supply Co. stall mat. It's what I personally have in my gym, and I found them to be a great flooring option. So I'm going to add 4 by 6 foot long area Tractor Supply Co. stall mats to this build. That's going to give you quite a bit of space to put your equipment on and give you some flooring to do your lifts on. They're also 3/4 of an inch thick, so they are going to provide some protection for your flooring if you don't build a platform. So with everything taken into account, this build would cost you about $3,167.21. That would give you the basics consisting of all high quality equipment that you would never have to replace during your lifetime. If you guys have any other thoughts or you want any other insights into this build, just go ahead and drop a comment down in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys watching this, and I will catch you guys later.